Welcome back, students. Today we are going to discuss part 7 of Unit 3, that is diversity of life. But before we start the main content, I would like to inform that the images used in our slides are for education purpose only. We respect intellectual property right of the original creator and owner of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this PPT, have any concern, any issue, please contact us at sathee@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. And in today's video lecture, we are mainly focusing on plant kingdom, 5 kingdom classification, division spermatophyte and angiosperm. So 5 kingdom classification. This already previously also we have discussed so many times that this 5 kingdom classification has been given by R.H. Whitaker in 1969. He classified all the organisms into 5 different categories: Monera, Protistas, fungi, plantae and animalia. And what are the criteria? On the basis of their cell structure, thallus organization, mode of nutrition, reproduction and physiological relationship. So in this particular chart, we can see over here that the organisms initially classify into 2 different categories: prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Primitive type of nucleus is present in this prokaryotic. So kingdom Monera comes under this category. Eukaryotic further divide into 2 different types: unicellular, single cell organism, and multicell organism or multicellular. Protista comes under unicellular category, and multicellular category further divide into 2 categories on the basis of the presence of cell wall. Those are not having cell wall comes under animalia, and those are having cell wall further categorized into 2 different kingdom. Those who doesn't able to perform photosynthesis comes under fungi, and those are able to perform photosynthesis comes under plantae kingdom. Okay, so further plantae kingdom is subdivided into sub-kingdom category: cryptogams and phanerogams. And we already discussed these divisions, right? And in today's video lecture, we are mainly discussing about angiosperm. We already discussed about angiosperm, pteridophyte, bryophyte, and chlorophyte. So no need to discuss it further and further. So I am just focusing on this angiosperm in today's video lecture. Right. So this angiosperm and gymnosperms both comes under this division spermatophyte, right? And this is the highly evolved group of plant. It including flowering as well as seed-bearing plant, right? They produce this type of plant produced sexually by the means of seeds because they are able to produce seeds. Okay. And already I told you that gymnosperm and angiosperm both comes under this division spermatophyte. So now today's main topic is angiosperm. Okay, and this is the most advanced division, most advanced one. These are highly evolved, primarily adapted to the terrestrial habitat. And these are some general knowledge questions which very frequently come into various competitive examination, like which one is the smallest angiosperm. So Wolffia is the correct answer for the same, and the size of Wolffia is about 1 millimeter. Which one is the largest? Eucalyptus, and size maximum 100 meters, right? So in angiosperm, the plant body is differentiated truly into 3 different parts: root, stem, and leaf. Okay, so plant body is differentiated into root, stem, and leaves. It has flowers, it has fruits and seeds also. And here in angiosperm level, vascular system or vascular tissue are well developed. What is the meaning of well developed? It means that xylem shows vessels or trachea, and phloem is also having sieve tube and companion cells, both type of cells, sieve tube and companion cells. That's why vascular tissue are well developed in angiosperm. Okay. So angiosperm is also known as flowering plant. Okay. And these flowering plants grow in a wide variety of habitat and environment. They can go from germination of a seed to a mature plant producing new seeds in as little as in a month or as long as 150 years. So lifespan can vary according to the type of plant, type of angiosperm, or what type of habitat they are actually growing. Okay, but usually plant we can categorize according to their life cycle. We can categorize into three different type. All those plants those complete their life cycle in a single season. They comes under this category, annual plants. Okay, those plants who complete their life cycle in 2 years comes under biennial category, and perennial, those may take several years from germination to uh, a seed producing plant. Okay, so annual, biennial, and perennial, three type according to their life cycle. Okay, and there are two major classes of angiosperm or flowering plant, further divided into some of the their characteristic. They are monocot and dicot, or monocotyledon and dicotyledon. So you can compare their seed type in this picture, their venation type, their vascular bundle location type, their flowering type. They have different kind of features, right? Means dicotyledon have two cotyledon in their seeds, monocotyledon single. Their veniculation type rectangular, here parallel, right? In stem, if we compare vascular bundle in stem, they are in monocot scattered one. These are in a ring form, and they are also contain cork cambium, right? Flower 5, flower petals 5 or multiples of 5, right? In dicot, in monocot 3 or multiple of 3. So these are the some basic difference between dicot and monocot type of angiosperm. These all the points already I told you, but once again we can read it out. One seed leaf, these are two seed leaves, flower component 3 or multiple of 3, flower component 4 or 5 or multiple of 4 and 5. Leaf venation in monocot, parallel, yes, correct. And in dicot, this one is reticulate, branching, or we can say branching, right? There is no cork cambium in monocot, while in dicot, vascular cambium is present. Okay, vascular bundle in monocot, just now we have seen the picture. These are scattered one in monocot, while in dicot, this one is arranged in a ring. Correct. They have only one aperture, thin spot in the pollen grain, while in dicot, 3 aperture is present in pollen grains. What are the examples? Examples are very simple. All the cereals like wheat, rice, maize, sorghum, these all are comes under monocot category. But apart from this, coconut is very good example, banana and sugarcane. Onion also, they also comes under monocot category. And plants, orchids, right? Here remaining others, all the type like pea, potato, sweet potato, rose, banyan, apple, these are the examples which comes under dicot category. Now, if we compare dicot and monocot, 3/4 of all flowering plant comes under dicot category. Okay, so nearly all flowering tree, shrub, they all are, under dicot category, as well as they are many annual plants also comes under this category. And all those plants which are in bulb form, bulb producing plant, are comes under monocot category. Apart from this, grass, orchid, and palm. Okay, and the monocots are primarily herbaceous, means there is no secondary growth. This is a very important characteristic of monocot. Okay, So now let's discuss reproductive part of angiosperm. Angiosperm is having both male reproductive part and female reproductive part. These both the parts are present in flower. Okay, so this is a general structure of flower containing both the parts. This middle green part is female reproductive part or female sex organ, and this thin one is male part, right? And this male part is known as stamen and the female part is known as carpels. Okay, so okay, so here, yes, in this picture we can see very zoom picture of this reproductive part of angiosperm. This is the male sex organ and this one is female sex organ. It is further stamen is divided into filament and anther contains so many pollen grains in this pollen sacs. Right here, this stigma, style, and ovary. We can further divide each part into three different sub-region: stigma, style, and ovary. This ovary contain ovule inside it, right? And embryo sac, and this embryo sac is known as female gametophyte. Okay, so female gametophyte, and here pollen grains act as a male gametophyte. Both are totally dependent upon sporophyte because they are a part of sporophyte. They are directly or indirectly depend. So dominating phase over here, which one is the dominating phase? Sporophyte, right? So embryo sac is a female gametophyte and these are the vascular bundles. Okay, so this is the female part and this is the male part of angiosperms. So the pollen tube further develop after during fertilization time and enter into the embryo sac after their growth, where two male gametes are discharged by this pollen tube inside the embryo sac. So one male gamete fuse with the egg and this fusion is known as syngamy. What is the right term for this? Syngamy. And other male gamete fuse with the secondary nucleus, which is diploid in nature. So triple fusion is there. The secondary nucleus is diploid. So two cells, okay, diploid secondary nucleus. So one combined with this egg cell, another combined with this diploid secondary cell, and this is known as triple fusion. And this two fusion occur, right, during fertilization. So two fusion occur, so it is called double fertilization. And this is a unique feature of angiosperm. This is a unique feature of angiosperm. Clear? Now let's move to the next slide. Now here in this slide we can compare angiosperm with the gymnosperm. In the last lecture we have already discussed gymnosperm. So just compare both of them. Both of them belong to the spermatophyte category. So here ovule are enclosed in the ovary. Here ovule are naked. Okay. Polar chamber and pollination drop are absent. Here both are present. Polar chamber is present and pollination drop are also present. Archegonia is absent in this case, angiosperm, while here in gymnosperm 2 to 8 archegonia are present. Each ovule has only one female gamete. Here one ovule has 2 to 8 female gametes. This is another major difference. Here double fertilization occur. In angiosperm, here no concept of double fertilization is related to this gymnosperm. And this is again a peculiar property of angiosperm, right? Here endosperm is triploid because triple fusion is there. Okay, so endosperm is triploid formed after the fertilization. Here endosperm is haploid and formed before fertilization. So these are the difference between angiosperm and gymnosperm. Okay, now this is the life cycle of angiosperm. Alternatively, angiosperm, sporophytic generation and gametophytic generation come after one another. This is the main plant body is a sporophyte. these are having flower, and this flower contain both the parts, male and female, right? So from male microsporangium, and then microspores has been developed from microspores or pollen grains through two male gametes are passed into the egg. This egg is developed inside the female part, right? So after fusion, this zygote has been formed, and then from zygote to embryo, and then further whole plant. So sporophyte. So alternatively, this sporophyte and gametophytic generation, diploid and haploid generation come after one another. But you can see over here this totally gametophytic part. These part are totally dependent on sporophyte. It is a part of sporophyte. Okay, so dominating phase is sporophyte in this particular case. Okay, now alternation of generation. Alternation of generation. During the life cycle of any sexually producing plant, there is alternation of generation between gamete producing haploid gametophyte and spore producing diploid sporophyte. Okay. So however, different plant group as well as individuals may show different pattern of life cycle like haplontic, diplontic or intermediate. Because in any type of plant which are sexually reproduced, there are two type of phases. One is haploid phase or gametophytic phase, another one is diploid phase or gametophytic phase, sporophytic phase, sorry. Okay, so each type of plant or different group of plant have these three life pattern. Okay, so so before discussing different type of life pattern, let's see different plant groups from bryophyte onwards. So bryophyte, pteridophyte, and then these are gymnophyte and angiosperm. So here in bryophyte, in which mosses are the main example, you can see this is the moss plant, and you can see over here this gametophytic is the, which is haploid in nature. This is the main plant body, and this contain sporophytic form, two end form. So gametophyte is the dominating phase in bryophytes. Okay, while sporophyte is reduced, and this is dependent on the gametophyte for its nutrition. Now let's discuss the next kingdom, that is pteridophyte. Fern is the very good example of this. This is the picture of fern. Okay, this one is, this big picture is showing sporophytic form, and this small phase is showing gametophytic form. Okay, so as you can see, sporophyte is the dominating phase, and this one is reduced, little one, but independent. Why? Because this one is contain chlorophyll. It can photosynthesize their nutrition by their own, and this one is free living. Okay, so here in gymnosperm, what is the scenario? This is the picture of sporophytic form of gymnosperm, and this contain microsporophyte, means male gametophyte inside the pollen cone, and this pollen cone, this sporophyte contain these type of cones, pollen male and female cones. So obviously here also sporophyte is the dominating one. Okay, while gametophyte is reduced one, and we can say microscopic one, and these are dependent on sporophyte for their nutrition purpose. Now let's next one, and the last one is angiosperm. This is the big picture of angiosperm, whole plant. This plant body is sporophytic in nature. This contain flowers, and this flower contains both the parts, female gametophyte and male gametophyte. These are also microscopic and very tiny in look wise, right? So they are also reduced one and dependent on sporophyte for their nutrition purpose. Okay, so gametophytic form and sporophytic form both are interrelated. All the forms come one after another, and this is the scenario from bryophyte to angiosperm, right? Now let's discuss one by one all the type of life patterns. Okay, so sporophytic generation is represented only by one cell form like zygote. In which type of life pattern? Haplontic life pattern, where sporophytic generation is very tiny one and it takes very less time. Okay, so and this sporophytic is no free living is there. Okay, after meiosis in the zygote result in the formation of haploid spores. The haploid spores divided mitotically and form gametophyte. This is the sporophytic form, which is 2n in number, right? And then after meiosis, spore has been formed, and then gametophytic form has been developed. So the main dominating phase is gametophyte. This one is free living, dominating one. And this one is photosynthetic as well. And this kind of life cycle is termed haplontic. Haplontic. What are the examples? Examples are so many type of algae comes under this pattern, or many algae like Volvax, Spirogyra, Chlamydomonas, they all follow this type of life pattern, haplontic. Main phase is gametophytic phase, or which is obviously haploid in nature. Second type is diplontic. Okay, diplontic, all seed bearing plant. Seed bearing plant means gymnosperm and angiosperm. Both are seed bearing. Okay, so gymnosperm and angiosperm follow this life pattern, diplontic. In this pattern, gametophytic phase is few to multi-celled stage. Okay, and main phase is diplontic, means sporophytic form. Just now we have discussed that picture. Okay, so what are the other than gymnosperm and angiosperm? There are certain other or plant also which follow diplontic phase, like fucus. Okay, this is a type of alga which is a diplontic, which is having diplontic life cycle pattern. Okay, third type is haplodiplontic. Third type is haplodiplontic. So this type of life pattern is found in bryophytes and pteridophytes. Okay, bryophytes, this is the example of bryophyte, and this one is the pteridophyte. These two are intermediate between haplontic and diplontic. Haplontic इससे पहले वाले हैं सारे जिसमें एल्गी आ रहे हैं, right? And diplontic after this means gymnosperm and angiosperm. So these two, bryophyte and pteridophyte, come in between these two, and they follow haplodiplontic type of life pattern. Okay, both the phases are multicellular, but they differ in their dominating phase. Means as you can see in this particular picture, this one is also having gametophytic phase and sporophytic phase, right? But here in bryophytes, you can easily recognize that gametophytic phase is dominating one. It is having sporophytic phase. It is a part of gametophytic phase. This sporophyte is totally dependent upon gametophyte for their nutrition purpose. Okay, so in bryophytes, the dominate independent phase is gametophyte, right? And it alternate with short-lived multicellular sporophyte, which is totally or partially dependent on gametophyte, as you can see over here. Okay, while in pteridophyte, like in fern, you can see both the phases are there, sporophytic phase as well as gametophytic phase. Okay, so but which one is the bigger one or dominating one? Obviously here sporophytic phase is the bigger one or dominating one, right? So just reverse if you compare this with the bryophyte. Here dominating phase is sporophyte. Okay, so in pteridophytes, sporophyte is the independent phase. It is not dependent on gametophyte, as you can see this in bryophyte case, right? It alternates with multicellular, saprophytic or autotrophic independent gametophyte, which is short-lived. This is the gametophytic phase. Which one is independent? Because it is able to synthesize its own food. Okay, right. So it alternates with multicellular, saprophytic or autotrophic. This is an important term for the gametophytic phase. Autotrophic, independent, short-lived gametophyte. Okay. Other than pteridophytes, some algae also comes under this haplodiplontic life pattern category, like ectocarpus, like Polysiphonia, kelps. These are also follow haplodiplontic type of life pattern. Okay. Okay. So this is all about of today's lecture, in which we are mainly discussed about angiosperm, right? If you have any confusion, any doubt related to today's video lecture, you can write down to me in the comment box. We will discuss it later on. Till then, take care. Bye bye. Keep learning. Namaskar.